All right. Good afternoon or evening or wherever you are, morning. Welcome to the Friendly Neighborhood History Channel and to our live stream weekend. We bring you more questions and answers about history and social studies. Drop a topic, question, or comment in the chat, and I will be sure to answer it in a nice historical manner as soon as possible. This is the Friendly Neighborhood History Channel, where we bring you history in a friendly, amicable manner, discussing all sorts of different political and historical events from the past throughout all of human history: prehistoric, ancient, classical, medieval, early modern, modern, industrial, all of that stuff. We talk about all the different ages and all the different time periods in human history, and as we find an appropriate background for our historical Q&A. We do this every Friday and Saturday at 6 p.m. Eastern. If you like history and social studies, consider liking and subscribing and becoming a friendly neighborhood historian. It's as easy as that. We also go live on Sundays at 4 p.m. Eastern for our live stream lectures, and we have one coming up this Sunday, which will be all about the ancient Greeks. So I'm looking forward to that, and we'll use this background, an interesting one. This is an American poster, I think, from the beginning of the last World War, what I consider to be the Third World War, and it is generating pay purposes. Two purposes. Hold on one second. Okay, hopefully you can all hear me now. I've been wanting to do this for a while. It's a nice, beautiful, sunny day out here, and it just occurred to me, why not do a live stream outside? You can't really see anything behind me, but we've got our nice background. This is a poster propaganda piece from, I think, the last World War, what I consider to be World War III, and you've got soldiers getting ready to fight, and you've got different generations of American soldiers. Welcome to the Friendly Neighborhood History Channel and to our live stream Q&A. Ask me anything, where you can ask me anything you'd like about history and social studies, as we do every Friday and Saturday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hope everybody's doing well and having a good Saturday. Make sure to like and subscribe and become a Friendly Neighborhood Historian. It's as easy as that. Drop a comment, topic, or question. Stay for the good vibes. We'll go for about an hour today, and then tomorrow we are back for our live stream lecture on the topic of the ancient Greeks. So if anyone has a topic about history, I'd be interested to see what it is. Today's pivot topic. What are you referring to? What pivot topic is it? Make sure to follow us on social media handles. Those got pinned in the chat. Tell me about Gandhi. Mohandas Gandhi was a Indian nationalist and activist who did everything in his power to free the Indian people from the British oppression and colonization. He worked in Africa. He developed theories of civil disobedience and unrest in order to fight against the oppression of the British, demand change. His demonstrations, his ability to use nonviolence, protests, hunger strikes, and things like that made his campaign far more attractive than it had been before. Whereas the Indian National Congress in the past had used violence as a means to get what they had wanted, Gandhi was far more successful in using nonviolence to get freedom for India, which he got in 1947, 1 year before he was killed. So, anyways, let me see. Let me see if I can fix the connection. Okay. Can everybody hear me now? Am I coming in clear? Yeah. I know everyone wants to still talk about everyone wants to still talk about Charlie Kirk for some reason. I talked about it plenty yesterday. I don't want to talk about it anymore. I really don't. I made it very clear. I made a post on the channel. I went back and talked about it, and I said very clearly, I don't want to talk about politics on the channel. If you want to ask me a question about a political topic or something, drop it in the chat, and I will be, and drop a super chat, and I'll answer that. I'm not responding to political rhetoric on the channel. I'll talk about something from a historical perspective. I'll talk about the history of politics, but I'm not going to talk about a specific political issue or topic. This is a friendly neighborhood history channel, not the friendly political history channel or friendly political channel. We're not doing that. Thank you so much. You can get notified about when we have about our videos just by subscribing to the channel. And I believe they have that for my videos, for my live streams, for my shorts. So yeah. What is your favorite historical period of war? The 19th century had some of the most fascinating wars, obviously the Napoleonic ones, very, very famous. Yeah. Yes, Harry is lecturing everybody about how the Constitution works, even though he's not an American. Can you talk about the VOC from the Netherlands? The VOC was the Dutch East India Company, which was a successful trading company in the 17th century during the Dutch Golden Age, when the Dutch actually had the best sailors and the best mercantile connections in the world. They went all over, colonizing certain areas like Indonesia, but also building long-term trading relationships with countries like India and China. So you can get notified. You get the notification bell. I think, Frank, you just have to change your notification adjustments. But yes, we have long-form videos that drop every Monday and Friday here. And we have short videos every day here on the Friendly Neighborhood History channel. And there goes a plane. So hopefully my connection's coming in better. Wanted to do something outside, get some aromatic things. There's been nice sunny days, so wanted to take that on. Of course, I still have my nice historical background. But yeah, I just looked out my window and I was like, wait a second, let's do it today. Yeah, no, Nolan, you cannot be a mod. Yes, I definitely know my stuff. What made you get into history? I've been into history ever since I was a little boy. Going to my local library, checking out books, made me a fan of history. And indeed, I'm a history teacher. I'm teaching it right now. The Dutch went nuts for a while from being subjugated to the Spanish to world power. Yep. It's like as soon as they got their independence from the Spanish, they were able to go on an absolute tear. You have some of the most famous scientists of the 17th, 16th, and 17th centuries, from Kepler to Leeuwenhoek. I think it was Leeuwenhoek, Huygens. I believe they were all Dutch for the most part. You have the academies built. I'm trying to remember the city it was built in. You have, of course, Rembrandt. You have huge discoveries in anatomy and shipbuilding and cartography and science. You have huge discoveries in art. You have Van Eyck, Pieter Bruegel, all of these amazing artists. Can you really go over those wars during the 1700s, the First World War? So that's the 7 Years' War from 1754 to 1763. Really starts in 1754 with the French-Indian War in the United States and Canada. But basically you have Britain, France, and their empires fighting against each other. In Europe, you have the Prussians, the Austrians, and the Russians going at it. The Prussians kind of are in the middle, being attacked by the French, Austrians, and Russians. Somehow they're able to resist that and eventually win. So yeah, again, if you want me, let me see here. So hopefully you enjoy that. Do you have a favorite pirate? Yes. Harry, you're just repeating the same narrative you've been saying. Talking about politics and the National Guard right now. The deployment of the National Guard is in line with a particular agenda. If You would have a good solid point if the same guy was president 3 years ago. I don't want to talk about politics on this channel. If you want to talk about politics, give me a super chat and maybe I'll engage with it. Why does it matter that I'm not American? You consistently it wouldn't matter if you weren't an American and had an actual good faith understanding of how American Constitution and politics work, but you're consistently looking down on it from your British perspective. What are your thoughts on the Knights Templar? Obviously, one of the more fascinating Crusader groups ever created. Worked really well for the did some of the first innovative banking. Basically, the Europeans did not like interest or usury charged by Jewish banks, so this led to a lot of persecution of Jews during the Middle Ages, but it also led to a huge amount of sympathy for, or a huge movement to get banking moved. So the Knights Templar actually had a financial wing that handled banking at the time and things like that. So that was a really big part of what they were doing. Meanwhile, and of course they were dissolved by, I think Philip VI or Philip VII was the king who dissolved them in France. They gained a lot of power. There's a lot of conspiracy theories about them going to America, forming the Freemasons. They were dissolved, and a lot of them were killed and put on trial by King Philip VII, I think it was. So yeah, what do you think of the Scottish Macock clan? Don't know enough about it. I think most people wouldn't have a lot to say about the National Guard during Biden's term because Trump is insanely rash and has no political group. Yes, that's your opinion. I don't talk about I made this very clear. Go read my post here on YouTube. I'm getting tired of the political rhetoric. Everything yesterday was Charlie Kirk, and I was okay with talking about it, but then everybody wanted to drag that into other political things. I'm not a political channel. I'm a history channel. The only reason I talk about any politics whatsoever is because of its connection to history. So if you want me to talk about a particular political issue, I'm happy to do that in the context of a history. Drop a super chat, and that includes my moderators as well. Yeah, so is it true that Hitler no, I don't think that's true. Holden, you're getting a lot of weird information that's not true. What is the most significant account of lost treasure? Captain Morgan supposedly buried a lot of treasure during his exploits in Jamaica and for the English in the Caribbean in the 16th century. Believe some buried treasure interested many different groups, from Napoleon to the Nazis were quite interested in that. Different political governments have been interested in unearthing treasure. Obviously, the British did a lot of this through excavation and archaeology. You could argue that a lot of their anthropological and archaeological studies, especially in their colonized areas, were in this hope of finding buried treasure and riches. Look at King Tut and Lord Carnarvon. 7 Years' War need to be talked about more so crucial and important as to the next 100 years as World War I has been to the last 100 years. Absolutely. That's why I consider it to be the first World War, and I stand by that, and I defend that all the time. And I have an entire video, I have an entire live stream discussing the details of those wars, so please go check that out. We have long-form videos every Monday and Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern, shorts dropping all the time, not short videos, not my shorts. And then we've got, of course, long-form video, and we've, of course, got the live streams Fridays and Saturdays at 6 p.m. Eastern, and Sundays the live stream lecture, like the one tomorrow about ancient Greece, will be at 4 p.m. What up, mate? You good? I'm doing good. I hope you're doing well, Ali. What do you think of Blackbeard along the Cape Fear? I think it's fascinating that Blackbeard wanted to get out of it, but felt that he was trapped and didn't want to take any sort of plea deal or anything like that. He could have retired, but he kept going. Thank you for liking my stuff. Hope you like the live and subscribe for more. And Ozzy's a member. That's why he's got the cool icon of Nicholas I, and you can be a member too. Members get early access, their own emojis, and of course access to early videos. And hopefully we're going to do member-only live soon. Where does white Americans come from in the U.S.? Well, the vast majority, various different European countries. The first, obviously, being Great Britain, Ireland, Germany, in that kind of order. Later, you have Scandinavians. You also have, in the late 19th century, you have Italians and Eastern Europeans and Greeks and things like that. Did the Romans invent sausage? I don't know. I don't think so. Napoleon discovered the Rosetta Stone. Yeah, that's true. He discovered it. The key to understanding hieroglyphic languages was discovered during Napoleon's failed campaign against the Ottomans and the British. That includes the Battle of the Pyramids, and where Napoleon's men